I like your new glasses.
Thanks.
No, that's Tara's over here. I'm over there.
Who said that? We got to play around these earlier. These were our lovely editor Max.
Yeah, our
Wink
dev
ordered
kit
them.
came in.
Yeah. What do you think of these things? What do you think?
I think it's pretty clearly the future, right? Like I'm not saying it's for every game or everything or that it's going to be like the status quo, but this is the beginning of something. Like it's like obviously it's super early. You can see the grid of pixels in this dev version. Yeah. You can you're so close to it.
You say you can see pretty clearly that this is the future. I would say it's a little bit blurry if it's kind of far away, but there's definitely a sense.
Let me rephrase. You can see pretty blurry that it is the future.
Yes.
Like you're so close to the pixels between your actual proximity to the screen and the lens that's warping it that not only are your eyelashes touching it and you can make out the pixels, you can actually...
You also wear these dumb things.
I take them off. I have to.
Right, which is why you have to adjust it because your eyes are flawed.
I have messed up eyes. But I was hoping in this dystopian cyberpunk future, the machines would be my eyes and it wouldn't matter anymore.
What's neat is there's little knobs here you can adjust.
Those will have contacts in them eventually.
Yes. Yeah. They will have actually a laser inside that does LASIK for you. I'm curious, because this is obviously the dev kit. The final version is going to be different. It's going to have a higher resolution inside. And I'm wondering how they're going to do the adjustment, because you need like a nickel. You need like to stick a nickel in there, which is kind of...
Not super user-friendly, but...
I feel like maybe a dial, like a regular kind of dial would probably work a little bit better.
Just a knob or something. I came into the office this morning and our editor was like, do you want to go visit Tuscany? And I was like, yes, that would be lovely.
Yeah, we've been putting videos on Facebook all week actually of just like us messing around with the different tech demos. One of our producer for Techzilla actually downloaded a Google Street View. I just used it like 20 minutes ago. This Google Street View demo that lets you go basically anywhere in the world. It's like teleporting. Yeah. I went to Seoul, South Korea. We went to like Guam. We went to Tokyo.
But you still don't see video, right? Because it's still like a series of pictures.
Yeah, but it's
like, is it like the QTVR thing where you look around and it kind of does that thing?
So it is pictures, but it's a trillion times more immersive than it sounds when you say pictures because like Max Wink, our editor, was he put it on and he was like in like South Korea and there was a building and he like looked up at it just like he would if he was actually standing in the streets of South Korea and was able to like read a sign up there. Like
this is the coolest part of the Oculus Rift to me. Like forget about the games. I want like cool stuff like Street View. I heard there's like some like architecture firms are using it now to let people like simulate their houses before they even get built. So cool. I know. I mean, like they have those on those shitty like take a tour of this apartment.
I don't want. Games require skill, and this is a little bit too much to adjust to. I would much rather play just exploration-based stuff. I was thinking about it. We're kind of talking about it, like we're like there's a Skyrim mod, and it was like, well, can you play it? It was sort of like, it might be kind of janky to play it, but we can walk around, and I'm pretty okay with just. I really just want to look at a bush.
I think that's the answer for now until we figure out what this thing is for game-wise. I think it's exploration stuff, like you said, like Proteus, and then I think it's like stuff without combat. So Proteus and then terrifying things. Like Amnesia with this thing on. Like,
that might be.
I don't want that.
It's almost too immersive, I think.
It's the elephant in the room.
Horror games and like shooter games, I don't know if I want to play something like that.
You would lose your shit if somebody came up and touched you while you were doing that.
Oh my god, we were like, there's a function where in the Tuscan Villa tech demo that I did earlier where you can just like slowly raise up and you'll like go through the roof and stuff and like you like actively flinch as you're doing it. Like it's so real.
No, I did the thing where and it's interesting because it's not even flight. I think just a basic flight game would be incredible. Just be like, hey,
I mean, they're gonna have those.
That's fun in games. What if you were just a bird?
What if?
With 2 eyes on this.
They have that War Thunder game, I think, that was just announced today. It's coming there. It's like a flight combat game.
Yeah. The only thing that's really shitty about it is that on the Kickstarter, this was for the dev kit, and a whole lot of people were like, give me one now. And it's like, you're not a developer. That's why we're still waiting for the regular ones, because they were filling such a huge demand. But I'm really excited to see what the finished one is. And the one that comes after that is going to be insane, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like there are games that have already come out that like didn't do so well that could be awesome on this. Like you remember Dear Esther?
Yes.
That
that's pure
game
exploration.
that everybody was like, this isn't a game, it's a movie. No. That would be amazing on the Oculus
That'd
Rift.
be really cool. And I don't know why, but there are certain games that are pre-Oculus that I feel like would lend themselves to the Oculus. Like the entire time I was playing through Far Cry 3, which I like just finished, for some reason, all I could think about was like, God, if I could just like look around like while I'm hang gliding, or it would be so like it's just that much more immersive.
One thing I love about that game is just that you can look at your hands and your shoulders.
You know what? That's what it was.
That sense of as opposed to just being a gun in front of your face that looks around, you know?
Yeah.
Like just the driving around in a car in Far Cry 3 and being able to see like the speedometer and out the window and like pulling bullets out of your arm with your teeth and spitting them out the window. Like imagine doing that in true first person.
Yeah, that would be...
What I think is very interesting is this is revisiting something that pretty much got scrapped a while ago.
Yeah.
Like it came on too strong. VR in the early 90s just wasn't working because the tech wasn't up to speed. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. You guys ever heard about the Charles Babbage's difference engine? It was a completely mechanical calculator, and he made these plans for it, but it was before assembly line industrial revolution. So all these little gears that was made to make books of mathematical equations. So it was all totally without human interaction. So there's no chance of error. And it was all made by a blacksmith, all these little tiny gears, and he never was able to finish it. It took him like years and years, and the British government was funding it, and he was like, I can finish this. And they were like, no, you can't. We're not giving you any money. It's taken forever to do this. And so these plans stayed in the basement of the British Museum, and eventually somebody in the 90s was like, what if we built one? And they built one, and it works. It works, and it's like, this is the same kind of thing in the sense that people scrapped VR in the 90s, except for, God, what's his name? The Oculus inventor. Palmer Luckey was the best goddamn name in the world.
That's a super good sci-fi name.
He just was like, I like these things, I'm gonna make one.
Yeah.
And it's, there's other inventions out there like that.
I love how open they've been with the development too. Like, so many people are just like making mods for it. They have some dude like randomly hooked it up to like a motion tracking system so that you can like be immersed in a game and like shooting a gun with your hands and stuff. Like it was the Razer Hydra that he did it with, like the two little things on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really cool. Like I cannot wait until these actually become commercially available and people start like really leaning into it and making awesome stuff.
I hope it catches on. The fact that this is Unity works really well with this. Obviously, I think that's what they probably build the demos and stuff with, and that's compatible with the PS4. So it's not really the most far-fetched thing to imagine that maybe a year or two there'll be one of these that hooks up to the PS4.
Imagine Journey on this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of PC gamers who are like, get a PC, and it's like, well, what if I want to sit on my couch?
I think if you're a console manufacturer, you'd have to be an idiot to ignore this thing because it is. Like we keep saying, like this is important. Like virtual reality goggles have existed in fiction for as long as we've been alive, and now they're real and on this desk in front of us. Like that's the craziest.
I do think it should be like I do think it should have like console support because like trying to maneuver like WASD with that thing on is kind of difficult.
Yeah, especially if you lose the keyboard, it's impossible to find. Like I was standing on the balcony in the Italian Tuscany thing, and I was like, this balcony feels like a keyboard.
I'd like to see somebody just cobble together a Virtual Boy emulator. I think that'd be the funniest thing. It'd finally work.
I love it when people use incredible technology for awful, idiotic purposes.
I'm in support of that so much. I think it'd be the funniest thing.
I think what the sweet spot might be like a sort of Blood Dragon-esque game where it's a full-on modern contemporary thing, but with the sort of trappings and stylings of a grid-based VR Tron world. Like the realism thing is the obvious angle, but I want to like walk around like a crazy mesh cyber grid thing.
I'm 100% with you. I think that I hope that the people who are attracted to this are weird enough that they're not just striving for realism, because I think realism in VR is I don't want that really.
I don't want it either.
I think it'd be upsetting, honestly. I think it'd be a little bit too immersive. I'd much rather go to places I'd never been. I'd like to be a bird or a dog or whatever. Like the Street View mouse. I don't give a shit. I'll be an animal. I'm gonna be an animal.
As amazing as Street View was, these things can take us anywhere. It doesn't have to be on Earth. Yeah. Like any fantastical realm.
However, what is really funny is people being like, "Hey, I wonder if it's gonna work with The Witcher 3." The third-person game.
Yeah.
Third-person, like, you want to be a camera hovering over a Geralt of Rivia. Okay. You want to be a camera above Nathan Drake.
The idea of loading into The Witcher 3 and seeing Geralt from behind, and then you turn your head, and the camera just moves completely, and he's not in frame.
That would be so
actually
funny.
Really funny.
Like, you look over, and there's a narrator, and he's like, oh.
Like
he's
you're
having
just
a smoke
playing
break.
Stalker the whole time, basically.
Or you're playing Stalker.
Or that.
Shadow of Chernobyl.
That would be a horrible way to pee in your pants if you were trying to do that.
There's such a thing as too immersive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get scared. I can't play horror games with headphones on. Like, I'm not about to try anything like Outlast with these things on.
You need Wicked Paradise.
Wicked Paradise is gonna be great.
The erotic game.
That's scary, but in like a different, emasculating way. So scarier somehow.
In a self-disgust kind of way.
Yeah, but it works. It's a thing that works. I'm so excited about this. I'm so glad we get to play with it.
Yeah.
Why don't you put that on?
Yeah, show us how to play with it.
All right. You put it on your face, and you pull down the goggles.
Now pose for a picture with your beer.
You're getting
You
colder.
moved my beer, didn't you?
No.
Ah!